Good day. Here are today's top stories from the Pna Headlines. Overseas Filipino workers and their families may soon get to buy the 20 pesos per kilo rice through a partnership of the Department of Migrant Workers and the Department of Agriculture. Migrant Worker Secretary Hans Leo Cacdac said the rice sold under the administration's Benteng Bigas Meron Na program will be available at the DMW Central Office in Mandaluyong City. Cacdac said the initiative delivers on President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s promise to make quality, affordable rice accessible to families while providing fair compensation to local rice farmers. He encouraged consumers to buy rice responsibly and follow distribution guidelines to ensure that more families may benefit from the low-cost rice. The DMW and the DA are also working to support OFWs who want to venture into agribusiness. This includes providing technical assistance and guidance for OFWs who wish to become agripreneurs as they return home. The European Union Election Observation Mission has sent more people to the Philippines to observe the midterm elections on May 12. Chief Observer Marta Temido led on Wednesday a send-off ceremony for the new batch of 104 election observers in Makati City. These short-term observers will cover all regions and augment the 72 long-term observers who were deployed mid-April. EU Chief Observer Marta Temido said they will visit different precincts to observe all matters during the election, including the polling, automatic counting, and canvassing of results. The group will also assess the technology used in the elections. The EU mission aims to contribute to the integrity of the midterm elections without interfering or validating its results. Temido meanwhile assured that their group's activities are running smoothly and peacefully. She said there have been no threats to the observers, especially those in election hotspots, because of the security provided by the national authorities. Temido said they have been coordinating with election authorities and assessing campaign events as part of their work. The group will present the first preliminary observation report on May 14 or 2 days after the elections. They will issue a final report 2 months later, which will include recommendations to improve future elections. In other news, the Philippine government has renewed its call for the total elimination of nuclear weapons as well as the support of all states for global disarmament. The Department of Foreign Affairs said Manila reaffirmed its commitment to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons for the 2026 Review Conference of the Parties to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons or NPT in New York on April 28. Foreign Undersecretary Charles Jose delivered a country statement during the general debate of the third session of the conference's preparatory committee. The DFA said the country remains true to the NPT's goals in preventing the spread of nuclear weapons while promoting cooperation in the peaceful uses of nuclear energy. Jose meanwhile expressed concern over the reported increase in nuclear warheads worldwide. He said that in a time of geopolitical instability, all states must rally behind the NPT and ensure it is preserved, strengthened, and meaningfully implemented. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. previously affirmed the Philippines' opposition to the proliferation of nuclear weapons. The PrepCom for the 2026 NPT Review Conference was held from April 28 to May 9. In news overseas, the Vatican's conclave ended its first round of voting without electing the next pontiff. Black smoke rose from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel on Thursday morning, Manila time, signaling that the first round of voting failed to elect a new pope. The conclave began as 133 cardinal electors gathered at the Vatican to select the 267th head of the Catholic Church following the death of Pope Francis in April. The cardinal electors attended a solemn mass at St. Peter's Basilica celebrated by Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re. The electors then convened in the Pauline Chapel and held a procession into the Sistine Chapel. They will stay in the Sistine Chapel while sealed off from the outside world until a new pope is chosen. From here on out, voting will happen 4 times a day. The process continues until a pontiff candidate gets a 2/3 majority vote. White smoke will billow out of the chimney and the formula Habemus Papam will be pronounced from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. Moving to our business news, the Department of Economy, Planning and Development expects the Philippines to be a $2 trillion economy by 2050 with a current growth trajectory and barring significant external shocks. In a speech at the Philippine Economic Dialogue in Milan, Italy, DepDev Secretary Arsenio Balisacan cited the economy's $292 billion economic size, remarkable progress as a rising middle-income country and a population of 140 million with a median age of 27. He mentioned the country's key policy advancements such as the Philippines-Korea Free Trade Agreement, the Ease of Paying Taxes Act, the Create More Act, and Ease of Doing Business. He said the economy will continue to transform by fostering new growth drivers while strengthening existing sectors, private sector participation, and lasting investments. Meanwhile, the country's agriculture and fisheries output recovered in the first quarter of 2025. The Philippine Statistics Authority said agriculture and fisheries production increased by 1.9% at 437 billion pesos from 428.99 billion pesos during the first quarter of 2024. The PSA said the sector recovered from 3 consecutive downticks in the second, third, and fourth quarters. The Department of Agriculture attributed the decline to the impact of El Niño, the string of successive storms in the second half of the year, and the spread of animal diseases. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chula said favorable weather conditions, coupled with the DA's interventions, helped improve the farm sector in the past 3 months. Chula hopes to boost agricultural production through new infrastructure by the latter part of the year. And that's the latest and the biggest stories on the PNA Headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. The PNA Headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the PNA Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. I'm Wilnard Basilonia. This is the PNA Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.